Okay, I want to welcome y'all to the last training call. Isn't it sad? It's our last call for our class, and I hope y'all have enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. I feel like it's been good. And I had the idea in the beginning, I just wanted to try to create something that would help to give everyone the tools they needed and to equip them to be able to easily succeed with their Plexus business. And so I came up with the idea for this challenge to just go through the foundations, the important things that you need to build your business. And so I wanted to sort of review what we've done. We've talked about just daring to dream again, and allowing ourselves to think big and not have those small limiting thoughts. Then we talked about developing ourselves through personal development and building our belief. Belief is so key. I've been listening this past week to some videos by Fallon Black, and she talks so much about the transformation she experienced when she really started to believe in herself and really had a wholehearted belief in the products and the business. And so I'm learning more and more how important that is. And then to actually just do the work. And I know I said before that I can hear Brenda Martin saying this business is so doable. Anybody can do it. A mom of 11 children, a mom of 12 children, a mom of 10 children. We can do this. It's doable, but we have to do the work. We can't just say, well, why are they succeeding? I'm not, if we're not actually doing the daily work that we have to. And that brings us to our last week, and our focus has been on that daily work. What we have to do consistently, day in and day out, most days, in order to really build our businesses. And we've really focused on that IPA, the income producing activity. And so I hope that the assignments that I pulled together have helped you to understand these facets of building your business, and that you have a better grasp of what IPA is and how to go about doing it. So what I'm planning to do now, I'm going to have Amy just share a little bit about how she goes about doing her IPA, what that looks like for her. And then I'm going to share a little bit about how I do it. And then for the rest of the call, I just want to give y'all opportunities if you want to share anything that you learned through the course of this challenge, or questions that you have, anything like that. Okay, Amy, you want to unmute yourself and you can share. Do you see it? Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, I got it. There it is. Okay. Well, one of the things I really appreciated about Elizabeth, the things that she helped me with when I first got started was, I don't even know if you remember this, Elizabeth, but you talked about they share this, perfect 5-day or perfect 10, or different formulas for doing income producing activity. And what you said to me was, you want to do those things on the schedule that works for you. Mm-hmm. And that helped free me, because one of the things you said to me was, you could do this in the course of a week. You could do this in the course of a month. It just depends on what works best for you and your schedule, but these are the things to do. Mm-hmm. I appreciated that, because it gave me a sense of what I needed to do, but also the freedom to know that it could be, stretched out in whatever time frame works. As it stands, a lot of those things are easy to do in one day. So, whether it's reaching out to a new person, posting on Facebook, following up with a few people, prospects or team members, that is not hard to do. And so, like I said before, I keep a spiral bound notebook next to my computer, and I just write down brief notes, who I contacted, who I followed up with. I try to look back on my customer reports and follow up, just send quick messages to one or two of those each day. There's a temptation to, if you're feeling great and lots of Plexus pink drink energy, and you feel like one morning you might want to conquer the moon, to try to contact every single one of them. And that is okay, maybe once in a while, but what happens then is you have the feedback from all of that, and that's falling out throughout the day. And that's not always possible to handle. So actually, sometimes I've had to limit myself on purpose. How many customers am I going to contact and say, how are you doing? And how many ambassadors? But just one or two of each of those, quick message, if they're already a customer ambassador, how are you doing? Is there anything I can do to help you? And then Facebook posts are a great foundation to lay for contacting people, because like we've said, if someone likes your post, you can add them to a list of post likers and send them a quick message. Hey, I saw you liked my Plexus post. Do you have any interest in it, or what are your thoughts about it, or is there anything about it that interests you? So keeping a list of those types of people, they've already given you permission in one sense to contact them because they communicated with you to that extent. Or, it just varies who I contact for the first time. Sometimes it's just because the Lord put someone on my mind, but usually there's been some form of interaction. But anyway, in a day, I can sit and, tick off messages early in the morning, 2 or 3, 4 messages, and have a post, and then leave my computer and, be done with it until I get the fallout of the messages that come back to me. And that varies, of course, by the day. But a little bit every day is really, I think, better than trying to do a lot all at once, because it makes it more doable.
Yeah.
And especially posting regularly. At first, I didn't know if I would want to post every single day or if that would even be a good thing to do. But I'm seeing now the value of posting something every day. Even if it's just a quick little blurb of, I'm so glad I had my pink drink because, or, just this is what my friend said. It doesn't have to be hugely thought out, but just, grab a testimony. There's a lot of value in that. So I think keeping it doable and workable, but keeping it consistent is important rather than biting off too much. And I was thinking, as we were preparing for this meeting, about sort of the parallel with when you're trying to lose weight. I know this is funny, but that's because I'm in that situation. I still have weight to lose. I have found if I try to go really extreme and say fast for a day or two just for weight loss. This isn't just the Lord called me to fast for some spiritual reason, but just I'm not going to eat because I just have got to get past this plateau or something. That tends to rebound the wrong direction later on, because I'm just too hungry, and then you get to where I don't care. I'm getting the next day. It's like I didn't eat yesterday, so I'm going to eat today, and it doesn't matter. That's, to me, in some ways, that parallels trying to do too much at once. But real weight loss and sustained weight loss comes when you make little changes every day. And put in place some habit patterns that are sustainable, that you can carry through in the long term. And I think that's when you're working a business like this, you have to look at it that way. You're in it for the long haul. It's a marathon. And so you're going to choose to do a little bit every day that's workable and doable for you. And that reaps great rewards. It's been a real blessing for me and a lot of fun. I've enjoyed this a lot.
Good. Thank you, Amy. A couple things that you said that stood out to me were just making it doable by doing a little each day and finding what works for you. Somebody else may tell you, I contact 10 people a day. And if you thought you had to do that, you would have given up in the very beginning, right? Mm-hmm. So you found what was workable for you, right, to put into your life. That was an important thing to bring out, I think. And then habits, that stood out to me because I know Donna said something about how at first she couldn't imagine doing this, but already it's just become part of her daily habits. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the goal. That's one of the things I wanted everyone to get out of this course, is that as we make it a daily habit, part of our daily routine, it's doable. And then it's just like anything that's new. It takes a lot of thought at first, but after it's a habit, it's almost mindless sometimes. You can just do those things easily. So, and then one other thing you mentioned too was the fact that you might do this early in the morning, but then you're going to have messages following up throughout the day. And, I know for me personally, I don't see how I would do this business without my smartphone, because I can be at a basketball game or, wherever during the day, and I can respond to those messages. So that's been a big help for me personally. Okay, I'm going to show you what I do. I've tried lots of different methods for keeping up with my IPA. I know I posted this in the group one time. Can y'all see this at all? This is, no? Is there, no? Oh, you have the same thing? Yes, Judith uses it. Okay, so it's my Plexus Daily Action Plan. It's in the files. And I started off like you, Judith. I had a stack of them on the clipboard. But then what I did back in November was I went to an office store and I got it bound. See, with the spiral binding. And then I had a little cover made. It's like, it has the clear plastic in front of it. It's stuck to it. There we go. It has the clear plastic with the white cover page, and then just a black page on the back. And you don't have to do this. I just thought I would keep it organized, and in order. And then I added a couple things, like this is mine from today. I don't know if you can see it, but I have the date up there so I can keep track of what day it was. And then as I contact people, I check off my boxes. So I have on here to contact 1 to 3 new prospects. And then I write their names and I write a note. Like I found this person works at Back to Health Chiropractic. So I put that note there. Because, later, sometimes when you have a lot of prospects, you get people confused and you don't remember the little details. So I put little notes for myself. And then my people I followed up with, I ended up following up with 5, so I made a couple extra boxes for myself. And, put some notes there, like if they had a sample. And then I've separated this out, prospects and customers. You don't really have to do that, but I wanted to be following up with prospects and with customers, so that helps me. Then I have post 1 to 3 Facebook posts. What I usually try to do, I have my personal page, my business page, and then I have the group, Our Journey to Slim and Healthy. So I'm trying to usually post at least one in each of those areas. So that's what I did today, and then I just made myself a little note for which thing. Sometimes I forget where I posted which. If I posted it, in the group or on my business page or what. So that helps me keep track of that. So what I do sometimes too is like maybe I post it on my business page today, but then tomorrow I might share that onto my personal page. So I'm trying to keep track of that better, so then the next day I can see, I could share that one from yesterday. And then if I encourage or help someone on my team, I keep track of that down here. And then another thing I try to do is be involved in our Facebook groups, and so I might make a note about that. And then down here under Build Yourself, I can write down what book I'm reading, what videos I listen to. Some days I have like a whole row of videos that I've listened to that day. I love to do the YouTube videos. And then if I I read an article about a health issue or about one of the ingredients in the products, I could write that down here. So this is what I try to do every day. And every day is different because some days, yes, Donna, this page is for one day. And some days I might only get one person contacted. Some days, it just depends. Some days it might be a lot. This was a pretty good day today. I had a little bit of time this afternoon when I was able to work. But some days don't look that good. And here's just the blank page again, if y'all wanted to see that. And Donna, I think you're saying you just joined us and you didn't hear it, but this is in the files of Ambassadors for Hope. And this helps me. And before that, I was doing what Amy was doing. I was just using a composition book, and then I was trying to print off different things that different people said they used and had it on the clipboard. And, I've just tried, I think that's what we do. We try different things till we see what fits. But I'm liking this system, and I feel like it gives me a schedule every day. Not a schedule, but a guideline, a checklist every day that really helps me to stay on track. And the other thing I like was, like today what I did was I went back to the beginning of this book. I went through all these pages and looked at the people that I've been contacting over the last several weeks and wrote down a list of ones I wanted to follow up with that I hadn't talked to for a while. And I know Amy mentioned that too, being able to go back and see so that you have that list. It makes it easier to know who to follow up with. So I don't know for sure when I finish using this if I'll pay to get another one bound or not, or if I'll go back to my clipboard. But I do like it like this, and it's very easy to grab it and take it with me when I go out the door. and it's the same size as my planner. Now, I've heard of other people, some people just keep track of these things on their planner, but when you have a large family, your planner is already so full with all your appointments and everything you're doing. I never had room on my planner to add all my Plexus activity. So that's what I'm doing. And I think that's really all I think I had to share. And then I wanted to unmute everyone and open it up. You can share what you do. You can ask questions. Also, I'd really like for y'all to just share what you've learned and if this course has been beneficial. So. Okay, you're all unmuted. We'll see if it gets too noisy.
Questions, that's okay.
Okay, I'll share. I really appreciate this course, and I don't think I've kept up with it like I wanted to. The reading part I haven't kept up with, but there's still time. But what I learned is that I have to be consistent, and I have this book. I've been trying to switch to the thing, but I have this book. I have things written in, and I keep my track of my things in there. But I like your idea of putting it into a binder because I lose the papers in that.
Yes.
Even and I'll throw away the other ones, and this one I can go back to, and I have lists of my people in it. And what is neat is that sometimes somebody contacts you, and I like that. It makes it real easy.
We all like that best.
Oh, I know. So I had 2 ambassadors probably around the last month or something, and I keep thinking one is an ambassador. One I think is discouraged because something she got an order that she thought she turned it off and it wasn't in the back office. But anyway, but the one person that's a customer, she hadn't said anything to me, so I thought she wasn't excited about it. And then I told her how nice she looked at church. She looked so nice and just looked trimmer. And she gets all excited and she said, "And I'm taking my Slim." Because I even took it to Hawaii because she had to go with her husband to Hawaii. And so that's kind of neat. Well, but I've also this last month been working, I have a blog for Plexus, and I've been working on that. And I changed the theme on it, and I updated that so that it will look a little bit better. And I'm not done with it because I do this stuff my own self. I don't pay somebody to do it, so it's a little more complicated. It's getting easier than it used to be. Liz probably remembers my problem. Well, tomorrow, do you know what I'm doing?
What?
Tomorrow, Brenda Martin is down in 2.5 hours from where I live.
Awesome.
In Pennsylvania. And usually my husband will say, "You don't want to do that," for something. But because it's in Lancaster and we like to go there, and we'll go there about once a year, he texted me back from work and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll take you down there. We'll stay overnight."
Awesome.
So he goes, "Well, I'll just sit at the back of the room with my phone and just read, Facebook or something." But we're leaving tomorrow in the morning early, so I'll have to tell everybody how that was.
That would be really special.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe your husband will catch the vision.
Maybe. Well, he's not too
Delvin
bad.
just went diamond.
What?
Since Delvin just went diamond, right?
Right.
Oh, he just went diamond?
Yes.
Yeah, he did. I guess I have Henry in my mind because he just went emerald.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Delvin seems really down to earth and is a man that works with his hands, like your husband. So maybe, feel a connection to him. Yeah,
he won't go and say, "Oh, well." The last time my husband went to something was a Tupperware party, and that was ridiculous. It was many years ago, but anyway.
That's funny.
So.
Great. Thanks for sharing, Judith. Donna, were you starting to say something?
Yeah, I had 2 questions. My first question, and I've learned everything. I didn't know anything, so everything I do know, I've learned now from you. So I guess in answer to what I've learned for the month, I've learned everything that I know. So in summary, yeah, because like I said, a month ago, I didn't even know what IPA was. So I've definitely learned a lot and been extremely motivated. So, and inspired, and it was just a great month. So I don't even think I'd have one customer if it hadn't been for this month. So, but my questions involve your ongoing list of ambassadors or your ongoing list of preferreds, how you keep those, like, are those on a separate chart that you know, or do you have those just in there and you just look and see on this date, you flip through until you find the person's name, or do you have those in a separate sheet?
I've started different systems and it's hard to keep them up, but I started making an index card for everyone and putting it in a little index box. Okay. And then I got behind and I haven't taken the time to catch it back up, but I'm hoping while I'm at my parents' house, that might be a good project to work on. So I like that idea. One thing that I was thinking with my ambassadors especially is if I have them all in this file box, and what I want to do is have it color-coded. I had gone to Walmart and got like 4 different colors of index cards, and so I thought each level could be a different color. But then I was thinking maybe I could just rotate them through and move a different one to the front, and whichever one's in the front that day that I would connect with that ambassador. Because what I realized that I do is I connect with the same people over and over. Like Jared and I pretty much connect every day, and I guess the same people that are working and have questions for me. Then there are other people that I'm not reaching out to, and they're not reaching out to me, and they're falling through the cracks. So I would like to come up with some system like that where I'm reaching out to all the ambassadors on my team. And the more you grow, the harder that is to do. So that's what I'm thinking of, trying to be better with that. How about you, Dane?
Isn't it true, too, that, the level 1s are the first priority as far as reaching out to them? Level 2s and 3s, you kind of expect your level 1s to be reaching out to. Not that we don't reach out to them, especially like some of my level 2s are under my kids and they need me to be the one to reach out to them.
Some level 1s that aren't active. So then I'm treating my level 2s more like a...
Right. Yeah. And like you, Elizabeth, I've tried different things. On the backside of one of my Spiral Bound notebook pages recently, I wrote a list of all my level 1s and for a few days started going through them. But yeah, I like your list of moving 3x5 cards toward the front of a group just to make sure nobody falls through the cracks, like you said. But I think the whole thing is, trying to see what works for you individually. And just it's like my chore charts for my kids, first one I ever put up there didn't work very well, but at least we had a chart, right? But as years have gone on and we've learned how to do it a little better, it works better. So just keep trying and, keep working through that list. If nothing else, go to the back office and take a look at your detailed genealogy and find a few names that you haven't talked to in a while.
I'm more afraid of the back office than I am a 3x5 card file.
That's something to get used to.
Charlotte had some, she has the training on putting together a notebook, a Plexus binder, and I know she had a sheet of like a list of ambassadors, a list of preferred customers. I wonder if she's kept up with that because her team's gotten so large. I don't know, but so I printed that out, but I just found that I wasn't going to that binder and getting that information.
Yeah, I could see that'd be.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I only have like 7 or 8 customers, and I already every day think, oh, who's the 5th one? And I don't think I've contacted that person for a few days, to see how if they've gotten their product yet and if they're started and all that. So I keep thinking, wow, if I only have 7 and I can't keep track of them, I really need some kind of system.
It can get overwhelming sometimes if you have some people are on a 3-day trial or a 7-day trial, and you have some that are preferred customers, just at different stages. It is hard to keep up with everyone.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's where I love being able to just pray every morning, Lord, would you put on my mind if there's somebody I need to contact, or just keep it that way, the relationship.
On my smartphone, it's real easy to see my messages, who who's kind of who I contacted more recently, and then who's farther down, on the list or whatever. But
Right.
So I had a question also about the new training that Almay did. Is that how you say her name?
Yes.
Okay. About I want to call it protocol, but it's not called protocol. Compliance. About like saying that it helps cholesterol, or saying that it helps diet, certain things. She said to not use any. The training I saw, I thought she said not to use terminology that is a disease. Should we really be careful about that? Or, anyway, I don't know. Did you know which training I'm talking
about? I know which one you're talking about. I have not had a chance to watch that training yet. That may have been happening about the time a lot of things were going on with my mom.
It's very new. I think it's just been the last week or so.
Yeah, I think so. And I know we've heard some of those cautions before, being careful about certain things. What I did hear was that we should have some more training on that coming up, like a convention, and more clarity, because there has been a good bit of muddy waters when it comes to what we can say and what we can't. And I know things that we've been advised not to say, then I see other ambassadors saying, it is confusing. It has been confusing. So I know we're not supposed to say candida.
Oh, really?
We can talk about candida, but then, like, if you have a post about candida, don't mention the Plexus products in the same post.
Oh, wow.
So you wouldn't talk about Probio5 and candida in the same post. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. And we used to talk about pain relief, and then we had to change it to discomfort relief.
But isn't it true that if we're talking to someone individually or in a personal message, we can be much more free? It's more what we post publicly on Facebook, right?
That's right. That's exactly right.
Okay.
And what you share on a private message, you're fine. And what you share publicly speaking and one-on-one, I think it's more what's published that we have to really be the most careful with, is my understanding.
Okay.
And then I know Vicki Drobnis has said that, like, if she gives a testimony about Plexus helping with a certain disease, say lupus or fibromyalgia or something, that she had just been using a hashtag or a note at the bottom that says Plexus is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any disease. But then I heard another ambassador was saying, well, that's not enough. So, I don't know. There, like I said, it's been confusing. We hear different things from different people. And sometimes I've posted something and then I've checked with Charlotte and she says, I think you should take that down.
Yeah.
So I have.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're all still learning about the areas of compliance and what we can say and what we can't. So I know that's not a very clear answer to your question, but.
Well, she did say that more was coming. I just didn't, like Candida, I didn't know that. I feel like I watched probably, oh my word, dozens of things in the last month, but can't obviously haven't seen it all yet. So there's a lot out there, so, which is good because it's really helpful. But
I love that we can learn as we go, that you can, keep moving forward and keep learning. I mean, as we go, as we're getting customers and ambassadors and actually getting a paycheck and still learning.
Right. If we wait until we know everything to get started, we'll never get started.
Right.
I've had some ambassadors that they're still waiting to get going. And I think the best thing is just to dive in. The sooner you dive in, the better. And sometimes you don't know what you don't know until you start doing it. And as you start trying it and putting yourself out there, then you learn what you need to learn more of. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And as the needs come along. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
And being okay with that and accepting the fact that we're going to need to keep learning and that we'll probably make some mistakes along the way, and just, letting that be okay and understanding we have a process.
Right. Any other questions?
Well, I have a lot of questions. So if somebody else has another question, I'll ask another one. My question is about like when you like, how can you, is there like a certain, not necessarily a number, but like an average or something, like of like preferreds that turn ambassadors? Like, you know, I mostly have preferreds, and so I just, and like, is that a 3 month, you know, are they preferreds for 3 months and then they just love their products and then they become ambassadors, or is it just really different all the time? Probably.
Jamie. Go ahead and say what you would answer.
I think it varies by the person. Usually if I have a preferred that has remained a preferred for a number of months, I will, you know, put the suggestion in their minds. Like even just the other day, I messaged a preferred customer and I said, you know, I know you've loved the products. I'm offering a special, like a promotional for people who will join my team, the next 3 ones. I said, I just wanted to let you know about that, because the fact that you love the products, and if you are ordering as much as $100 every month, you might really consider this would be a good option for you for saving money. Plus, there's the possibility of earning commission. So once in a while, I will send that thought to a preferred, message them about it. But I think it varies by the individual. Some people just want to be a customer. It depends on, you know, what their age range is. The older ones tend to rather want to be customers. Younger ones may be more, you know, wanting to join a business or something. It kind of varies by the individual. I don't know that there's an average for that. I do know there was a period of time where my PV went kind of down because all my preferred seemed to be becoming ambassadors, and that's not a problem. That's a good problem, you know. But I just think it varies, but I do think it's worth putting that thought in the minds of preferred customers, especially when they've been with you a couple of months, and just say, you might be interested in this. You know, it might be a good thing for you.
Okay, yeah, it's still really early, you know, because I've only had customers for, you know, a month, but I just didn't know, you know, especially the ones that I know, you know, like you said, are liking it and, you know, using several products and things. So
I feel like I've always had more ambassadors than customers. And I think I've just known a lot of people that needed to get the products at the best possible price. So they went ahead and joined as ambassadors right off the bat instead of being customers first. And yeah, like you did. And there are advantages and disadvantages to that. I think one disadvantage is I have a lot of white lines in my back office, because where you may have some customers try the products and quit, if they've signed up as ambassadors first, now you sort of feel discouraged because you see those white lines when you look in your back office, you know. And then it's helped me to rank up faster, but then my PV is lower than, say, Amy's, because I've had more ambassadors and less customers. And I had the same thing that happened to you happened to me recently. Just about all of my customers became ambassadors. I have like 1 customer left. And so I guess the good thing about that is it motivates you to go out and look for more customers. And it's good because you're getting those ambassadors. But, you know, so that can happen sometimes. Customers may come or go. They're not always, if you get customers, you're not going to always have those customers forever. Some of them are going to become ambassadors, and some of them may decide not to take the products anymore. And I think that's something maybe we don't like to talk about, but I know I felt discouraged, like I was doing something wrong at the beginning, and I would whine to Charlotte, you know, why are some of my customers quitting? I thought I was a bad ambassador. But then I learned that that's just the reality, that all your customers aren't going to stick with you.
yeah, I was watching, I think it was Sonia Dudley today said that 20%, I think, is what, you know, she said if you have 1,000 ambassadors, 200 of them will not be after a while, you know, and that was, I mean, that was good to know, you know.
Yeah, that's harder at the beginning when you get a customer, especially when you're just starting out and you have a few customers and one of them decides to quit. You feel like, oh, they don't like me anymore and my business is falling apart, but it's really not. And I remember Melissa Eichenhorst saying that too on a video training, that you know, you will have customers come and go, and that is really, really normal. Just expect it.
That encouraged me a lot when I heard her say that, because she's a diamond.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, wow, she's a diamond. And if that's happening to her, then I don't need to feel like I'm doing something wrong. So that encouraged me a great deal. And I just saw we have less than a minute, so we're about to be cut off on this call. So I want to thank y'all for taking your time to do this course and to come to the Zoom meetings and to encourage each other. That's been a blessing to me to see y'all encouraging each other and participating. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you still have more questions, you can ask them in the group or in our chat group.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks.
All right, praying for you, Elizabeth.
All right.